everybody? What up? It is your boy Big Izzy, and today we got a special show for you. So, guys, I hope you're ready. Right? It is the home buying process. Listen, guys, I tell my LOs all the time, if our main referral sources are realtor partners, we want to make sure that we know what they go through on a daily basis, what happens on a daily basis throughout their lives, that we can understand, number one, when to approach them, when to contact them, right? When to ask for the business, right? When to follow up with them on current business, right? But it is wildly important to also know the entire home buying process and who the players are within that process, right? If we're following the roadmap, right? The lender basically pre-approves them. The realtor basically makes them fall in love with the home. The title company puts the contract together. The inspector basically goes out, makes sure that the house is sound. And then your appraiser goes out there and makes sure that the value is on point and what you're purchasing is worth it. So, guys, we got some great guests on the line today, right? We have our title company, JK Closing, with Andre Jara on the phone. This is going to be fantastic. We have Carmen with South Florida Inspections that's coming on. And we also have our very own National Appraisal Director from Movement, Susan Wright, on the phone too. And you already know it's an interview. It's a fireside chat, bringing you as much value for your growth that we possibly can. So without further ado, if we're following the roadmap, I think I see him on here. Andre, are you with us?
Listen, can you guys hear me? Absolutely. How you guys doing today? I like your hat. I like your hat, Eric. I like
it, man. I like your hat too, brother. How's your weekend?
Listen, weekend was beautiful. How can we complain, right? Like I like to say to people down here when they call me, hey, another day in paradise. It might be hot, but you know what? Our market is hot. South Florida is hot. I mean, we're always been hot, so why not work together to get the great information out there to everybody, all the viewers, all the listeners, and excited to be here with you guys.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much for taking your time today. But yeah, just like I said in the intro, we want to follow the home loan roadmap, right? And how it basically works. So, Andre, I brought you on the line today to do exactly that, right? You're the one who takes care of the contract. You make sure that you and a partnership with a lender is everything. How does the title search process help the loan officer ensure the property's title is free from any liens or legal issues that could affect the buyer's loan approval? How does that work?
Well, like you said, Eric, it's very important to communicate in the beginning process with the lender. I don't want to sound like a preacher, but I am thinking that lender is important. Without money, there's no financing. Where we come in, working with great lenders, and just a little point out here, not to scare anybody or alarm anybody. We are in South Florida, like I was saying before, but sometimes it's not the best thing to be in South Florida because there are many companies, and my personal opinion will be that work with people that know the market, know the people that are going to deliver. Okay. Now, saying that, it's a team aspect, right? Where we come in is we get a contract. We are a real estate law office, so it's a little bit more of an added value for us when you use us, because we do have attorneys that will help you review contracts even prior to you signing a contract. Okay. Very little things that make a big difference at the end. Loan approval periods, inspection periods. But to get to the answer, we at our law office, JK Closing Attorneys, we order everything right away. The searches, the estoppel, title. We want to make sure that we get all this information as quickly as possible to everyone, including the lender, including the clients. Title search typically might take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours on average. That is going to give us a great idea of what we need to clear up. That's why title is important, especially down here in the South Florida market, because, there's been a lot of turnovers. Let's just take it back to 2008, right? 2008. Now there's been a lot of sales in everywhere, every city, every community. So the title search is very important. So we are able to give clear title to the buyers. Okay, and that's where the lender comes in too, because they are going to lend to the buyer, making sure that there's clear title that's given to them.
Nice, man. And listen, JK Closing is on here for a reason, right? We basically do business with them already, and I've had zero complaints. On the contrary, Andre, it's been fantastic dealing with your company. So, I mean, what documentation or information do you provide the loan officer? What tools do you give them that help them verify the property's legal description and other vital details before approving the loan?
Well, there's a little bit of a stage there. Obviously, a buyer is going to come out to the lender, going to see what they qualify for. The lender will send us a title request based on that loan amount. You know, the inner details of what we're going to be doing between us as the title side, closing with the mortgage side. Okay. Very important, even though you might not hear from us in the beginning of what's going on back and forth, but it's very, very important. What we do is make sure we communicate with the mortgage team. Okay. Why? Because we want to make sure that we're getting you what you need on a timely manner, because there are dates that are very important in the contract that, you know, as a buyer side, they need to comply. And this is, again, working with Home Team. It's a great also a great team to be working with, because they do deliver on those timelines. And you know what? If you're not communicating, or you don't have that great communication with your team, it's definitely something.
Oh, did he freeze? The beauty of going live. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. So I think I left off with the technology, and then we went off for a little bit. So basically, yeah, communication is key. Technology is key between you guys and us. I know you guys, I mean, a little on the side of what we're talking about today, but I know Home Team has some great technology features for their clients, so they can keep up with the process also.
Yes, we do. And it's amazing, man, how once we get a contract in, that team that's immediately involved in that loan grows, right? You got your title agent, you got your inspector, you got your appraiser, right? These are all kind of third parties, if you will, right? That if we're bringing them in and we're making them a part of the team, that synergy that it creates, I mean, is priceless, really, man. So, Andre, I leave you with this one, man, because I know a lot of our guys have questions about title insurance, right? What does title insurance play in protecting the lender's interest? How does it provide security for the loan officer?
Great question. It's a very common question that we get. We actually do a little bit of a lot of training and seminars that we give, right? And I think, Eric, I also emailed you a little PDF. If you want to share with your followers, your people that are on the podcast, basically an explanation of what the title insurance is. Okay, I'm going to break it down a little bit of a simpler way of explaining it. Okay, I like to explain it. It's like, well, you might relate to this: a credit report, right? A credit report is going to give you a history. We run title. History is going to come up. What people owe, what people have against their property. Okay, who owns it, who didn't own it, who passed away, who didn't pass away. And down here, a lot of times you see a lot of quick claim deeds, right? Because everybody has an opinion on how to do title down here. Right? Listen, preach, right? Amen. Can I get a witness right there? And these are all the things that are very important to the buyers, where, you know, a lot of times, I'll say it this way too, our industry does not have the best reputation out there. But this is where it's key to have the right people behind you, like in anything, in life and in business. Okay, people that are going to be very upfront with you and let you know, hey, these are the issues that are coming up on this report. How do we fix them? How do we address them? Is it going to be within a time frame that we're able to close? Because listen, I used to be on the mortgage side back in the 2005 days, so yeah, a long time ago. But It helps me explain this to buyers, realtors as they're going through this process, because you do have rate locks. You do have a time frame where you know, on the mortgage side, need to be able to close on your clients, right? And it's a domino effect. So basically, let's picture the credit report. Things, when they come back clean, everybody's happy. But when there's things there to be fixed or cleared up, listen, it might be somebody that passed away 10 years ago and there was one little word on the title that never showed up because there was a title company that just prepared a quick claim deed, or even they went to Home Depot, Office Depot, and they get those, you know, what's that website, law.com, or, you know, anything that they say, hey, print a quick claim deed and record it. Great, but you may have issues down the road. So that's where we come in to help you clean up that title. And again, make sure that the title is transferred clear to the new owners. Okay. We protect the interest of the lender because basically you're also, the lender side will also see that report, right? And they want what's called marked up title commitment. Basically, you want to check off everything that you did on that title. Okay. To make sure that you also have a record of that as a buyer. You know, we go a little bit more into detail with these as in JK Closing, since we are a little bit of a law office. Well, we are a law office, not a little bit of a law, but we are the law office, and we do title. So we help you guys, give you a lot of added value from start to finish when anybody has a question. Okay. Then you have the owner's policy, which protects you. So again, down here, South Florida history, going by what we experienced, I would say the last 15 years, very important to make sure that you have a real estate law office. Look at what you're buying, okay? Because you never know what comes up and what needs to be cleared. And realtors, if you're listening out there, sometimes, you know, you get dragged into the situation where they said, hey, let's just do a whole harmless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you also got to speak to your lender. Lender is key. This is where the trust comes in. This is where home team comes in. Being able to speak to somebody and letting them know, hey, these are the situations that are going on. This is where a team aspect will come in between us, the lender, realtors, everybody involved to make sure that everything is done right and we're able to get accomplished this. And it's still the American dream to own a home. Even though South Florida is getting on the expensive side, it's still, you know, you can still accomplish that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Andre, man, thank you for being on with us. I definitely want to give you an opportunity to plug real quick. Andre, go ahead and speak on JK Closing. Give them some contact information. Guys, I know you out there. Make sure you're taking this down, especially in the state of Florida. So quick plug for you, Andre, before
Quick plug. Listen, always great working with everybody, professionals, you know, but more important every day with everything that's changing here with the new laws and, you know, things that are changing, people that you can sell to and not sell to. JK Closings, we keep it simple. Protect your license, protect your client, or protect your license from your client. Now, we have offices in Miami, Orlando. We can do title anywhere, but the main thing is that we are a real estate office. We don't have any upfront charges. We charge when we close, just like everybody else in this industry, if you're on the real estate on the mortgage side, right? So we're here. We're very accessible. We have a few people that speak a few different languages. If you want to set up a quick training with us, we have an app. We have classes, okay? Especially nowadays that people need to get up to date with everything that's changing on the market. Quick plug, just call us, you know. We're there to help, even if we might not be doing the file, or we may be able to kind of help you and point you in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, I can vouch for them, guys. JK Closing. Thank you very much, Andre. They are fantastic. So, hope you guys got, you know, what you needed out of the title side of it. Guys, these are also influencers. All right. Don't think that, you know, realtors are our only referral source. Okay. Title could be a tremendous referral source. I know personally that JK Closing partners with us. We're constantly out there banging the streets. together. I've seen countless pictures of us at networking events together. So again, can't say enough about them. So guys, the next part of the process, right? The next part of the home buying process usually is the inspection, right? And for that, we have South Florida inspectors here. Carmen has been great. Thank you so much for joining today, Carmen. What's up?
Well, my pleasure to be here.
Well, look, I hope you had a great weekend. We are going to get into these real quick, right? So, as a home inspector, Carmen, right, how do your findings impact loan officers' decisions to make, process when assessing the property's conditions, right? How does this affect the LO?
So, our role is crucial in helping the loan officers in the decision-making process when it comes to assessing the property's conditions and value for the loan approval. When we do our thing as home inspectors, we're kind of like those detectives that come in and assess kind of what's going down and give them basically what the overall health of the property is.
Okay. All right. Overall health, meaning that it's stable, you can move in. I mean, obviously being down here from South Florida,
Yeah.
we've seen some fun things on these inspection reports. Um,
Yes.
in what ways can an inspection report assist a loan officer in identifying, kind of like being proactive, right? Identifying potential issues that could come up, insurability,
Right.
especially everything's going to be around the loan approval process. But how can the inspection reports actually help identifying some potential issues?
So the inspection reports actually help to see if there's any red flags on a property, if there's structural problems, safety hazards, or major repairs that are needed that can raise some eyebrows. The loan officer needs to know about these hiccups because they could impact the property's value and the loan's risk. On the flip side, if everything is good, then it gives them, the thumbs up to go ahead and, approve that loan.
Yeah, for real. So normally, at least down here in South Florida, what are we looking at? We're looking at the 4-point with the wind mid, right?
Right, the 4-point and wind mitigation.
All
Which
right.
basically the 4-point covers the health of like those bigger ticket items. So that's the roof, the AC and heating, the plumbing, and the electrical. And the wind mitigation goes to how the property withstands storm. That's the one that gives the new buyer credits for their insurance.
Okay. Yeah, I know that we deal a lot with the expiring roofs. I believe the 30-year life expectancy, right? Continuous life expectancy from that, on a contract. So if there's like significant defects or safety concerns, right, during the inspection, how do you work with the loan officer to address the issues?
So first things first is the report. We do guarantee those same day, so that way the loan officer can have it ASAP.
That's awesome.
And going over those things, then we create basically a roadmap where we help them uh, identify what needs fixing, and then once they do go ahead and fix those things, we can go ahead and do the reinspection and get the ball rolling.
Okay, so there would be a reinspection that goes. How long does the reinspection take?
The reinspection. So basically, when the reinspection happens, we go back and we only look at the items that really need to be inspected again. But it doesn't take long, and we still guarantee those reports the same day. So we do offer same day inspections. So sometimes people call us and they're like, "Oh my God, my inspections, I need it today because my insurance is going to drop me," and we're there.
Yeah, yeah. And then talk to us about type of inspection, because I know that this wasn't a part of like what we spoke about, but
No worries.
the VA, most VA loans require
The
that termite
WBO.
inspection, right?
Mm-hmm.
The termite
Yes.
inspection. So how, I
Right.
mean, I know it's a loaded question what I'm about to ask you, but the turn times on those
Uh,
really, yeah.
Typically for those, we can do same day. Worst case scenario, they'll have the reports by the next morning. We have a sister company that we work with that is really great, and they even allow us to schedule at the same time that our inspectors are out there. So if it's for a VA loan or and whatnot, we're able to accommodate the same way that we're able to accommodate for our regular inspections.
Love the speed. Love the speed of it. Same day on everything. That's fantastic.
Yes, yes.
Heck
We
yeah,
make
Carmen.
everything simple and easy.
So look, I'm gonna leave you with this opportunity. If you had to, you already collaborate with LOs, but if you had to leave the LOs with something, right? Anything when it comes to like the actual inspection, right? When it comes to the collaboration, what would you leave them?
So aside from the fact that we offer same-day inspections, guaranteed same-day reports, um, our our reports are very easy to read. They have lots of pictures, they have lots of videos, and we do offer unlimited consultation with our inspectors. So if there's ever any question that they have, they can always give us a call. We're open 7 days a week, so even if they're working on something on a Saturday, they don't have to wait till Monday to call us. They can call us right then and there.
Yo, that is excellent. Carmen, quick and painless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there's probably, a lot more that you can go into, but I appreciate you. Guys, South Florida inspections, right now they are concentrating on the South Florida market, but they are
keys up to West Palm.
All the way up to West Palm. So if anybody wants a little bit more, Carmen, give yourself a little bit of a plug, give some contact information out there. These guys are watching. Make sure you write this down. Go ahead, Carmen.
So we service the keys up to West Palm Beach. We're known for same day, next day inspections, guaranteed same day reports. And the biggest thing about us is we're deal makers. We're not deal breakers. So it's all about offering solutions to the client so they feel confident to make their purchase versus scaring them away. Aside from that, like I said, we offer unlimited consultations with our inspectors, and we're here to help in whatever way that you need it. So my personal line, if you ever want to give me a call, is 786-975. I'm sorry, 786-875-9745. You can check us out on Instagram, send us a DM, or go through our website. Like I said, we're always available.
Heck yeah, love it, Carmen. Thank you very much. Love that deal maker instead of deal breaker comment. That's what I'm talking about. Like that. All right. Well, keeping it moving through the home buying process, right? We had our title agent. We just had our inspectors come up here and share a little bit with you. Let's get right into the appraisal with our very own Susan Wright, our National Appraisal Director. That sounds fantastic. What's up, Susan?
Well, it sounds good. It's kind of a busy thing to do, but it's all in the fun. You had some excellent folks in front of me. I am very impressed with what you have going on down there. Makes me happy. Really.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So what is your day-to-day as a National Appraisal Director? What do you...
Anything that impacts the collateral in 50 states. So
50 states.
Yeah, anything that may have a question from a loan officer in any of our states that we cover. Could be a realtor who's asking a loan officer, hey, do you think that this property can go FHA? Or what do you think about, and they'll send pictures of something, and we'll try to give you our best, in my opinion only, here's what I've seen, and this is what you should be on the lookout for. It can be just about anything. I mean, the loan officers need help. We don't interact with their agents or their clients, so that, they keep that direct contact going, and they just bring us whatever it is that they have questions about on any given day. It could be about, gosh, I've got something that's a manufactured home on 200 acres. What do you think? I might think that you might have a hard time finding a comparable, but basically anything that comes up that they don't have an answer to, that they would like to get an answer to, they'll send over to us. And that's aside from reviewing all of the appraisals that come in any given day. Mm-hmm. We have staff here that covers all of the conventional reports, the ones that are elevated to high risk because of the credit risk scores that are coming through Fannie and Freddie. We've got a team dedicated to nothing but government, so they handle all the VA, FHA, and USDA files. We have a manufactured home team. We have a jumbo team. You name it, and we've got it segregated out, so we have everybody in a specialized position.
Yeah, and I'm going to steal Carmen's quote, deal makers instead of deal breakers. I've experienced it first from your staff, Susan. Very helpful. Crazy. You spoke about comparables, and a lot of people don't know this, but straight out of high school, I got my dream job of being a state certified appraiser. And I mean, it was crazy in some instances because it was definitely before the market crash. So there's a lot of stories there. You know, people really didn't want to work with you unless you could give a 24-hour turnaround time. But the comps, I mean, it was just wild. And just a quick story, I've done an appraisal. There's an area called Skyline Drive, and it's just a big oval shape. You have your 2-car garage, all right, and then you have your airplane hangar, and you could leave your house in your airplane hangar, just go right to your private one-way and leave. Obviously, if you're purchasing those type of houses on Skyline Drive, you're not going to move out. So finding comparables for that, wild. Wow. Speaking of the appraisal, though, sticking to the appraisal, what do you recommend loan officers to review? Like, what sections do you recommend the loan officers to review?
Well, I will tell you, when I was a loan officer for 30 years, I always looked to see if it made value, if it needed repairs. But then I took on this job in 2012 and I learned what's in an appraisal report. So let me just say that what they really need to do is to maybe learn about the condition rating. Most of the agencies are not going to do anything that's in a C5 condition rating. C6 is inhabitable. So right there, they know that that's probably an ineligible property. They need to look at the part that says, is this the highest and best use? Needs to be residential as highest and best use. And there's, things that come up in the report, maybe it's talking about unpermitted areas of the property. It depends on, a lot of times where you are. If we are looking in Florida, of course, we want to make sure that we've got, all of the properties have, I've seen them with lots of repairs, but then, we're waiting on things, and all of a sudden here comes that 4-point inspection. That's a big help. I'd never seen that before until, this past year or so. So a lot of things, tell them to look at the pictures. Appraisal may say that it's as is, and then we get to the photo summary and it's terrible. I mean, every minimum property requirement that you could violate is in that photo summary. And the answer is, well, he said it's as is. Well, my underwriters can't sign off on just because he said it's as is. And there's a misconception that conventional doesn't need repairs, and that's not true. All of the agencies are looking for the same, call it the triple S's if you want, the safe, sound, and sanitary aspects of a property. And conventional may not care about lead-based paint as the government files would, but they care about everything else. So that's truly a misconception.
Heck yeah. I mean, it's
think about your client. What are they moving into?
I feel like I have Ronnie on my shoulder talking to me to speak of a place called Hialeah. It's a wonderful location here in Florida. And it seems like every home that we appraise has additions, has different apartments, But one of the things that I can say, at least with our team here, the cures are always made available, right? Remember the whole deal maker kind of comment? Like, the cures have always been made available. If you bring this back to code, we can, in essence, go back out there, do a final inspection and make it happen. So for that, definitely grateful. Talk a little bit about, the appraisal review process, right? So if an appraisal value differs from the contract price, I know working with your team, once a loan officer hears that, is everything, right? All of a sudden we turn to our back office. Hey, what do you guys find? Again, I've been a part of those and I can't say enough about how it was handled from your team. There's no smoke. But what's the process like? Give them some resources, I guess. If they do that, what do they follow?
Well, first of all, from my aspect of things, I would appreciate if all of the loan officers would set proper expectations, because once appraisal report comes in, that we have to have a copy sent out to the client, but it's not approved yet. So there could be revisions, there could be value changes. So if they set proper expectations up front and, when it comes in, we store that appraisal in the additional items appraisal folder while we're working on it. and they can have they have an opportunity to look at it, touch it, and feel it, but we will be working on it. And then once these revisions, if they have to be made, come back, then we'll let the loan officer know when it has its final approval. So just holding the client's hand while we work through various things is huge for us on our side. Now, if it comes in low, then we have several options. Sometimes you're in a hurry, and the best thing that's going to happen is, they renegotiate the contract. Sometimes that's not possible. Maybe you've got a client that has a little bit more money, and they still are in a hurry and want to pay over the current appraised value. But the underlying one that everybody wants to know about is the rebuttal process. So we do have a rebuttal process. It's listed on the hub. The document that they need, it's a Word doc. It's on the hub. Tells you exactly what they need. They can also email rebuttals@movement.com, and my rebuttal desk will help them, throughout the whole process of, what they're looking for, what they need to put in. Of course, the best comparables would be the ones that are more proximate to the house, the subject property, and the similar size, similar design style, whatever, and more recent, right? So everything that we can. And I will tell you, that's kind of a funny thing about the rebuttals is a lot of times we will get them in, and maybe the agent helped the loan officer, or I'm not sure, who put it together, but we'll take a look at it, and the comps that they're suggesting are already in the report. So make sure that you check and don't do that, because we'd like to try to do one rebuttal with the appraiser. We don't want to irritate him because we're looking for some assistance. So let's use the best comps that we can, and, look real hard at what you're sending to make sure it is, in fact, a comparable property.
Thank you, Susan. Dimes from Susan. I hope you guys took a lot of that. Susan, before we let you go, is there anything you want to leave the LOs with? Something, a tip?
I'll tell you one of my favorite things, and like I said, coming from a sales background, if you have a contract that isn't all convoluted, it has escalation clauses, it's a new construction contract, and it's got 60 pages of plans and specs with different sales prices, throughout, do yourself a favor. On the hub, there's something called a blank builder doc, or you can use a blank piece of paper and write down my sales price is and my seller concessions are. And if you drop that in the contract folder, when my team goes to upload the contract to the AMC to order the appraisal, that can go with it, and that could save you a rebuttal on the back end.
Oof. Thank you. Anything that could save us on the back end.
Yes. Yes. If you can't find it, you put it there for him right up front.
Susan, I can't say enough. Thank you so very, very much for being on our show today. We greatly appreciate you guys. This is what we do, right? The home buying process. That was only the first episode of the home buying process. The second episode will be coming up in August. Guys, thank you so much for watching today, the home buying process. This Wednesday is going to be awesome, right? We're going to have a national representative from Hometown Heroes on. We're going to be able to interview them. We're going to be able to have open Q&As with them. Don't miss this Wednesday. You already know it's your boy giving you nothing but the best. We'll see you soon.